Welcome to the Houston County New School Council Member Training. The Houston County School System is required to provide you with training to assist you in the performance of your duties as a school council member. This training will address organization of school councils, their purpose and responsibilities, applicable laws, rules, regulations, meeting procedures, state and school system program requirements, and a model school council organizational plan. In addition to this audio program, specific materials have been provided to you to utilize during this training. You should have the PowerPoint that accompanies this audio program, a copy of the Georgia School Council Law, a copy of the Houston County School Council Bylaws, Open Records Act, Open Meetings Act, and characteristics of effective school councils. Thank you for agreeing to serve as a member of school council. You are about to embark on a very exciting year. The Georgia School Council Law, OCGA 20-2-85 and 20-2-86, is a total of 4 pages. The current version of the law is effective as of July 1, 2007. The structure of the law is easy to follow. OCGA stands for the Official Code of Georgia, which indicates that it is a law. 20 is the title, 2 is the chapter, and 85 is the section. There are 2 sections of the School Council Law. 20-2-85 is the first section of the law that relates to school councils. This section deals with the establishment of school councils. The second section of the law that relates to school councils is 20-2-86. This section details the requirements of school councils. The small letter, such as A, underneath each section of the law is called a subsection. The next 2 slides provide you with a synopsis and outline of the School Council Law, its sections and subsections. Why do we have school councils? There are 2 reasons. Number 1, to improve student learning and achievement, and number 2, to increase communication between the school and the community. The General Assembly was very clear in its intent in creating school councils. There are 8 bullets that are pulled straight from the law to illustrate this point. School councils were created to bring communities and schools together in spirit of cooperation, solve difficult education problems, improve academic achievement, provide support for teachers and administrators, bring parents into the school-based decision-making process, assist local boards of education to develop participation, create a better understanding of and mutual respect for each other's concerns, and share ideas for school improvement. School councils are a part of the accountability system established within our state. School council members are accountable to the constituents they serve. School council members are to maintain a school-wide perspective on issues, regularly participate in school council meetings, participate in information and training programs, act as a link between the school council and the community, encourage the participation of parents and others within the school community, and work to improve student achievement and performance. Who are school councils? In this section, we will discuss school council composition and membership, the term of office for school council members, and 3 ways your office as a school council member may be vacated. First, school council composition and membership. The school council shall be managed by a minimum of 7 school council members, consisting of 4 parents, at least 2 of whom shall be business persons. Parents must always make up a majority of the school council. 2 teachers. The school principal. The principal must be a member of the school council, but cannot serve as the chairperson of the school council. 7 is the minimum number of members a school council may have. Additional members may also serve on the school council. Other members of the school council. Other members, such as students, staff, and representatives of school-related organizations. For example, student council representatives, PTO, PTA representatives, etc. Other business persons from the local business community may serve on the council. These other business persons do not have to be a parent of a student within the school. If a school council decides to add other members to their council, selection procedures for these members must be specified in the school's school council bylaws. A council is not required to add these other members. Other members may not outnumber the 4 parents who were elected to the school council by their constituents. Remember, the law states that parents must maintain a majority on the school council. Terms for school council members. The term of office for school council members is 2 years. The terms of council members shall be staggered. As a result, some members may serve a 1-year term or a 2-year term. The initial term limit is determined by the makeup of the school council, as the intent of the law is to have half of the school council serve a 1-year term and the other half serve a 2-year term. Members may serve more than 1 term. The term of office of all council members shall begin and end on the dates specified in the council's bylaws. There are 3 ways your office as a school council member may be vacated. Number 1, you may resign. To do this, you will need to provide a written resignation to the council and provide a copy to the school council secretary or the school principal. Number 2, a school council member may be removed as member by the school council for inactivity. This means if you do not participate on the school council, the council can vote to remove you as a member. Number 3, if a school council member no longer meets the qualifications specified in the law to serve as a member of the school council. Examples of such are member moves out of the county or out of the school zone, member no longer has any children who attend the school, teacher retires, teacher transfers, etc. Election of school council members and school council officers. After providing public notice at least 2 weeks before the meeting of each electing body, the principal of each school shall call a meeting of electing bodies for the purpose of selecting members of the school council. The electing body for the parent members shall consist of all parents and guardians eligible to serve as a parent member of the school council. The electing body for the teacher members shall consist of all certified personnel eligible to serve as a teacher member of the school council. The school council shall specify in its bylaws the month in which elections are to be held and shall specify a nomination and election process. The school system has specified the nomination and election process each school is to follow to ensure consistency. With the exception of the principal and the other members, members shall be elected by and from among the group they represent. Selection procedures must be specified in the council's bylaws. If a school council has a parent or teacher vacate their position on the school council, an election within the electing body for a replacement to fill the remainder of an unexpired term shall be held within 30 days, unless there are 90 days or less remaining in the term, in which case the vacancy shall remain unfilled. There are 3 officers of the school council: chairperson, which must be a parent member, vice chairperson, and secretary. School principals cannot serve as the chair of the school council. It is also suggested that they do not serve in the capacity of vice chair as well. This is because in the absence or disability of the chairperson, the vice chair performs the duties and exercises the powers of the chairperson. Officers of the school council shall be elected by the council at the first meeting of the council following the election of school council members. Officers of the school council shall hold office for the term specified in the council's bylaws. Officers may serve consecutive terms. The responsibilities of the school council chairperson. In cooperation with the school principal, they develop the agenda for all meetings, preside at all meetings, perform all duties as required by law and bylaws of the council, and perform all duties as shall be requested by the school council. The responsibilities of the vice chairperson. In the absence or disability of the chairperson, perform the duties and exercise the powers of the chairperson, and shall perform such other duties as shall be required by the council. The responsibilities of the secretary: attend all meetings, act as clerk of the council, be responsible for recording all votes and minutes of all proceedings in the books to be kept for that purpose. Give or cause to be given notice of all meetings of the council, and shall perform such other duties as may be prescribed by the council. What do school councils do? What are the school council's roles and responsibilities in regard to their relationship among Board of Education and principal, school council roles and responsibilities, principal roles and responsibilities, and Board of Education roles and responsibilities? The school council relationship among the local Board of Education and the principal is: the management and control of public schools shall be the responsibility of local boards of education, and the school leader shall be the principal. School councils shall provide advice, recommendations, and assistance, and represent the community of parents and businesses. School council roles and responsibilities. School councils are advisory bodies. The councils shall provide advice and recommendations on any matter related to student achievement and school improvement, including, but not limited to, the following: principal responsibilities to the school council. The principal must be a member of the school council, but no longer may serve as the chairperson. Cause to be created a school council by convening the appropriate bodies to select school council members, setting the initial agenda, meeting time and location, and notifying all school council members of the same. Perform all of the duties required by law and the bylaws of the council. Communicate all school requests for information and assistance to the local school superintendent, and inform the council of responses or actions of the local school superintendent. Develop the school improvement plan and school operation plan, and submit the plans to the school council for its review, comments, recommendations, and approval. Aid in the development of the agenda for each meeting of the council after taking into consideration suggestions of council members and the urgency of school matters. Call meetings of the electing bodies after providing public notice at least 2 weeks before such meetings. Reports to school council regarding progress toward the school's student achievement goals. Provide all non-confidential information, including school site budget and expenditure information, and site average class sizes by grade, to the council as requested or as required by state law or state board rule. Board of Education responsibilities to the school council. Provide all non-confidential information, including school site budget and expenditure information, and site average class sizes by grade, to the council as requested or as required by state law or state board rule. Designate an employee of the school system to attend council meetings as requested by school council for the purpose of responding to questions the council may have concerning information provided to it by the local board or actions taken by the local board. Shall receive and consider all recommendations of the school council. Authorities of school councils. School councils have 2 authorities. Number 1, appoint committees, study groups, task forces, and utilize existing committees on matters related to school improvement and student achievement. Number 2, withdraw a member due to inactivity. Remember, the main role of the school council is to provide advice and recommendations and represent the community of parents and business persons. The law specifies when and how school councils meet. In this section, we will discuss school council meetings, trainings, and remuneration. School councils meet at least 4 times annually. The number of school council meetings must be specified in the bylaws. School councils can also meet at the call of the chairperson or at the request of a majority of the members of the council. A quorum must be present to conduct official business. A quorum is a majority of school council members. All meetings of the school council are open to the public. School council training. The local board of education shall provide a training program to assist schools in forming a school council and to assist school council members in the performance of their duties. Such program shall address organization of school councils, their purpose and responsibilities, applicable laws, rules, regulations, and meeting procedures, and important state and local school system program requirements, and shall provide a model school council organization plan. Additional training programs shall be offered to school council members annually, such as sessions on school improvement plans, curriculum, assessment, etc. These additional training programs may be conducted by the school principal or requested central office staff. Members of the school council shall not receive remuneration to serve on the school council or its committees. You cannot be paid for your service. School councils work under the guise of bylaws. Bylaws govern how school councils operate. The school council shall adopt such bylaws as it deems appropriate to conduct the business of the council. The adoption of bylaws, or changes thereto, requires a 2/3 affirmative vote. The bylaws adopted by local school councils shall not be inconsistent with the language or intent of the Houston County School Council System Bylaws and Guidelines, adopted May 2001, and thereafter as revised. Each school council must adopt the system bylaws as their model school council bylaws. These bylaws are a minimum under which a school council may operate. School councils may add to these bylaws, but cannot take away from them. Also, whatever is added to the bylaws may not be in conflict with the language or intent of the Houston County School Council System Bylaws and Guidelines, nor the school council law. School councils also operate by a quorum, majority, and voting. A quorum is a majority of school council members. For the minimum number of 7 school council members required by law, 4 out of 7 school council members must be present at each meeting to conduct official business. A majority vote constitutes more than half. At all meetings of the council, every question shall be determined by a majority vote of members present, representing a quorum. 4 members present equals what number to determine a majority vote? 3. 5 members present equals what number to determine a majority vote? 3. 6 members present equals what number to determine a majority vote? 4. 7 members present equals what number to determine a majority vote? 4. Voting. There are 3 types of voting: yes, no, abstain. Secret ballots are not allowed, as school councils are open meetings and all votes must be done in public and recorded in the minutes. Proxy votes are not allowed. No one may vote for you in your absence from the school council meeting. All members must be present to vote. School councils also operate by utilizing parliamentary procedure. This provides clear procedures for handling motions and votes when taking action on agenda items. A link is provided for additional information on parliamentary procedure. The final operating procedure is utilizing the agenda and minutes of the school council. Agenda. Principal duties regarding school councils: setting initial agenda, aid in the development of the agenda for each meeting of the council after taking into consideration suggestions of council members and the urgency of school matters. Minutes. The secretary shall attend all meetings, act as clerk of the council, and be responsible for recording all votes and minutes of all proceedings in the books to be kept for that purpose. The minutes of the council shall be made available to the public for inspection at the school office and shall be provided to all council members, each of whom shall receive a copy of such minutes within 20 days following each council meeting. Remember, school councils are subject to the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. When conducting the school council meeting, make sure you follow protocol. Follow the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. Use parliamentary procedure. Follow your agenda. Make sure your agenda is posted as far in advance as possible of the school council meeting. At a minimum, 2 weeks in advance is required. Also, you must make the agenda available upon request. must have procedures in place in regards to visitors. Since it is an open meeting, visitors have a right to be there. Some school councils recognize visitors and provide them a minute or two to introduce themselves. Other school councils do not. It is up to each school council to determine their procedures. At all times, school councils are to focus on student achievement and school improvement. Some items you may wish to review and discuss at your meetings are analysis of available test data, analysis of other available data, school improvement goals and plan, improvement initiatives, Georgia performance standards, and recommendations for improvement. Effective school councils set boundaries, focus on student achievement and school improvement, develop agenda, conduct the meeting, plan next meeting, evaluate the meeting, and complete follow-up activities. In addition to the school council law, there are other laws that each school council member should know, such as the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. You have been provided a copy of each of these laws as they relate to school councils. Please make sure you have read them and adhere to their requirements. The Open Meetings Act will detail how you conduct a meeting that is open to the public. Such topics covered are definition of open meeting, providing notice of open meetings, open meeting agendas, open meeting minutes, and violations of the Open Meetings Act. The Open Records Act will detail how you maintain records of a meeting that is open to the public. Such topics covered are who has access to open records, how to obtain copies of open records, time requirements for providing open records to the public and by request, which records are confidential records and therefore not open to public inspection, and violations of the Open Records Act. You will notice that confidentiality is mentioned under the Open Records Act. There are certain records that are not open records, specifically student information and personnel evaluations. Student information is confidential, and personally identifiable information may not be released or communicated. Records in which individual students can be identified are not accessible. Personnel evaluations are confidential under state law and are not open records. Again, thank you for your willingness to serve as a member of a school council. We appreciate your time and effort on behalf of our students, schools, and system.